Hi everyone, I'm Donna the Accounting Lady. I wanted to talk just a little bit about productivity. I work from home, so that's a big issue for me. Before I get started, if you find anything interesting or useful or entertaining in these videos, please like or share or subscribe. I would love to hear from you, by the way, comment below. And with that, I'm going to kind of move right on. What I use to do everything that I do, and I accomplish a tremendous amount in a day, is I use the Pomodoro technique. Pomodoro actually is an Italian word, and all it really means is tomato, because there were kitchen timers really in the 50s that looked like tomatoes. They were shaped like tomatoes. And so the guy that came up with this named it after the timer. Um, and I don't remember the guy's name. But anyway, the idea is that you work for 25 minutes, and then you get up and you do something else for 5 minutes. And rinse and repeat. At the end of 4 sessions, you get a 15-minute break instead of a 5-minute break. Now, that means about every 2 hours, you are taking a longer break. What I really like about it, number one, at the end of about 20 to 25 minutes, my brain is kind of done. I need a break. And it's frustrating to me when I'm working in someone else's facility, because then when I'm on site, I can't do that. But when I'm here at home, I can take a 5-minute break. I can get up, I can walk around, I can take care of the chores that need to be done. And there's always chores that need to be done. I can take care of other things for a few minutes. And it kind of mentally resets me so that when I come back and I sit back down, I'm ready to go. And that means that I can focus more deeply, I can get more done, I can take less time actually doing it, and then I'm just fresher, I'm just ready to go. A lot of the things that I do involve a lot of deep thinking. I have one client, they have the worst books I swear I have ever seen. They're going to go unnamed, obviously, for confidentiality purposes. But when I'm working on their stuff, I really kind of blank out a lot of the time because it's just such a disaster. It's just like, where do I even start? And when I take these 5-minute breaks, it kind of gives me a chance to mentally reset so that I can find a starting point and start following that little thread and see, where is this going to lead me? It keeps you from being mentally burned out. Now, this is especially important when you are working in the information sector, because it's just, human nature. After so long, our attention wanders. So I have an alarm that after 25 minutes it goes off. And until it goes off, I try to be very focused on what I'm doing. Now, I'm probably slightly ADHD. I have a very hard time focusing as it is, like a lot of people. I mean, it's we with our smartphones and with all the technology, it's very easy to all of a sudden end up watching YouTube videos on how to communicate with a giraffe before you know it. It's just, there's so much in our environment that is distracting. So when I'm using this technique, I just set the timer and I have a special timer. I use Focus 10 on Windows. For the bulk of for the 25-minute sessions. And then I have this timer from FlyLady. It's flylady.net, if I remember correctly. And it says you can do anything for 15 minutes. And she does the same thing. It's a Pomodoro technique. It's the idea that you can set a timer and focus on one thing until the timer goes off, and then you can stop. So I do this. I do this with 25-minute sessions. I focus on it, and this one is actually set for my 5-minute break. So that when I go to take my break, I just start this. I usually start it on the computer too, but it doesn't make an annoying enough sound for me to notice. I will start this, and then I will go do something else, and I can take this with me. And the something else could be, I could go in the backyard and drink in the sunshine for a little bit. I could go take care of some chores that need to be done in the house. I could walk to the end of my driveway and back. I could do, 5 sun salutations in 5 minutes because I like to do yoga. I could start to prepare to go hiking this afternoon. Or I could start preparing for tomorrow. I could start seeing what I need to do for my next class. There's a lot of things that you can do in these little 5-minute breaks. And actually, if you start timing how long it takes you to do things, you will find that you can squeeze a lot into 5 minutes. Now, one of the reasons I like to do this is that there's a lot of work that has to be done in the house. And so in 5 minutes, I can take care of a chore that I don't have to do later. I don't have to spend my weekend cleaning house then. After 4 sessions, so we have a 25-minute session and a 5-minute session. So after basically 2 hours, I get a 15-minute break. In 15 minutes, I can mow the yard. I mean, seriously, there's a lot you can do in 15 minutes. I will choose something that takes me a little bit longer to do. The reason for these is, again, one, it gets you up and moving. Sitting is not actually very good for you. And two, it's so much easier to bite off things if you know that there's an end point where you get a break. So I take these 5-minute breaks and then I come back and I'm mentally fresh to take on the next task or to continue the task that I was working on. I actually get so much more accomplished when I follow my Pomodoro timer, when I follow this technique, than I do if I say, I'm going to get this knocked out and I'm just going to sit here until it's done. For one thing, there's a sense of accomplishment that, well, yes, I got all of this client work done, and I got some chores taken care of while I was doing that. And I was more focused, and that's really what I'm after, is to be able to be more focused. When I come in here and I sit down to do client work, I want my attention to be on my client's work. I don't want it to be on the cars going down the street, and I don't want it to be on how long have I been here already. It's 11:30 and I already want to go home, and I work from home, so I want to get out of this room and I don't want to work anymore. It just kind of eliminates that, because I'm like, okay, I have 10 minutes left, and in 10 minutes I can jump up and I can take care of something else, and then when I'm ready to come back, I'll be mentally refreshed. So that's what I do, and I find it to be very, very effective. Again, I'm kind of a perfectionist. I want my house just perfect, so this gives me a chance to, instead of saying, I don't have time, I don't have time, I don't have time, I've found that a lot of the things that I need to do just take a minute or two. So instead of saying, I don't have time, I have 5 minutes right now, and I can go do that. And then at the end of my workday, I can take care of my workout. I can take care of I can spend time with my kids. I can spend my weekends doing what I want to do instead of the things that I feel like I need to do. And that is a huge, huge, huge thing for me. I've spent too many years of weekends being taken up with yard work and housework. And this way, things get done. Things get done in 5-minute sprints. So, and my clients get an even better quality of work for me because of these 5-minute sprints. One, I'm not worrying about everything else that I need to do, and two, I'm mentally fresh when I sit down to do their work. So things are getting done quicker, more accurately, and I just feel better, which is better for everybody involved. So that's about it on the Pomodoro technique. Also, I recommend David Allen's book, Getting Things Done, and I kind of used both of those things to actually, I just read his book for inspiration. But I kind of use the Pomodoro technique to make sure everything that I need to do gets done. I tend to write everything I need to do on my whiteboard so that when I kind of get to the end of my session, I'm getting a little bit mentally tired. If I look up there and I see the list of things that I need to do, because I do have clients that are more in depth than others, so I have to remember that, oh yeah, for this client I need to add sales tax to all of their 150 invoices, which is going to take some time. But I can do that in 5-minute sprints in between other clients' stuff, which means that I'm not stressing. And that's a big thing. As long as I'm not stressing, then life is good. Yeah, that's it on the Pomodoro technique. I am probably going to do this video again later. And the reason for that is I find it so very important. And this is one of the reasons that I really, really push home working, remote working. Is that I can sit down, I can do this, and then I can get up and walk around. And it's much harder to do that in a traditional office, especially when my clients are watching me, than it is for me to do in a remote location where, for example, I work from home, so I can household chores done. For those of you that don't realize this, I am a single mother. So I have 2 teenagers that live with me. One of them just turned 17 yesterday. Happy birthday, Mercedes. And the other one is 15 and anxious to get his driver's permit. So even though it sounds, this is what has allowed me to raise my kids as a single parent. Is that I have been able to, 1, work from home, and 2, I've been able to balance my time. I'm not always successful at it, but the Pomodoro technique and working from home has been a tremendous blessing to my family, so that when my kids are home, I'm home. And since there's no one else to be home with them, that's just a huge thing. I am very big on being there at the crossroads. So I want to be there when they come home from work, and I want to be there when they come home from school, and when they come home from a date, and when they're, when their girlfriend breaks up with them. And, I just want to be there, because in 10 years or 20 years or 30 years or after I'm gone, those are the moments my kids are going to remember is, well, I came home from work and mom was in bed and I went and cuddled with her. They're going to remember that. They are not going to remember so much that I worked all. So working from home allows me to balance my obligations to my kids and my obligations to my clients, and to be able to fulfill them both in a very effective, productive, fulfilling way. So that's it for today. I will look forward to talking to you again very soon. And again, if you like these videos, if you have feedback on these videos, please like, share, subscribe, comment below. I really would love to hear from you. Have a great day.